Hi, this is Linda Welsh from Linda Welsh Realty Group at Compass. Happy spring. I'm so happy that we're getting things blooming, sunshine is out. We're off to the races as far as real estate goes. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is very timely because real estate very often is seasonal. So what I want to talk to you about is what is the best way for you to find out your home's true value? So there are a couple of different things to consider. Number one is a comparative market analysis, sometimes called a CMA, which your realtor can do for you. And it will entail much of the same information that other professionals will use, but that is primarily focusing on homes that are in the market, are pending, but most importantly have sold in the recent 90 days or so. And that will be in your neighborhood if possible, with similar size, age, condition, number of rooms, and amenities. So taking that into consideration, you may know the homes in your neighborhood that have sold, or you may not. You may have known that they've sold, but you haven't had a peek in to look at the photos or actually visited an open house. So by contacting your local realtor, you'll be able to find that information out and better able to compare them. They could have done a full remodel if your home is older, or it might be in need of repairs. So those will be critical points to consider. Number two is to hire a professional appraiser. In fact, if a buyer comes to purchase your home, the lender will order a professional appraisal. And that is an arm's length transaction. Neither the listing agent nor the buyer's agent is able to consult with that appraiser directly. You can leave some information, for instance, on the counter about information about upgrades or materials, but you can't really coerce them into giving you a higher appraisal. So this is a very subjective and a very objective and a very complete and lengthy report. Sometimes appraisals can cost $300, $500, $600, close to $1,000, depending on what you're having appraised. It will also have to do a lot with all the buildings that you have on your property. If you have a traditional neighborhood home with one, it's not going to be as expensive. If you have a large tract and maybe some outbuildings, guest homes, or a barn or something of that sort, then it's going to be a little bit more complex. And what they're going to do when they do this type of evaluation is much more in depth. For instance, if your neighbor sold their home for, let's say, $600,000 and they had a pool, and yours does not, they are going to take that property and they're going to subtract the value of what they think that pool is worth in order to bring it down in line with yours. By the same token, if yours did have a pool and theirs didn't, they're going to add that value onto theirs in order to bring it up. Typically, an appraiser will use approximately 5 to 6 comparable properties in close proximity and with the nearest type of amenities, size, number of rooms, etc., in order to make it comparable to yours. Thirdly, you can do some online research. So a lot of people like going to websites like Zillow and Redfin, but keep in mind that these websites are limited in what they can provide. For instance, Zillow has something called a Zestimate. Well, a Zestimate is not really valid in the state of Texas and many other states because we're a non-disclosure state. So it is their best guess on value. Sometimes they'll take that property value from, let's say, your tax records, but your tax records may not be accurate. It may not have all the relevant information. And so you really need to have a professional give you that information. Fourth, I might highly recommend that you ask your realtor to set you up on a search of homes in your neighborhood, an ongoing search, even if you're not in the market to buy or sell today. The good news is you'll know what other properties are going for. Another thing to consider is something like HomeBot. HomeBot is also a valuation service, but it does need some tweaking if you're in a non-disclosure state like Texas, and your realtor can help you with that as well. So I would love to help you find out the value of your home if you're interested. And by the way, it's almost season to protest your taxes. So please reach out if you'd like to have a contact for one of the recommendations we have for a tax protest service on an ongoing basis so that you can save money on your property taxes year to year. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Again, it's Linda Welsh from Linda Welsh Realty Group at Compass.